Well, I want to welcome you all to our 5-day challenge. My name is Linda Larson Schlitz, and I've been a counselor in the Wausau, Wisconsin area for over 35 years. And in the course of my years, I developed a homeless program for people coming out of recovery and that had mental health and substance abuse issues. And I was so blessed to meet Tammy, who became one of our superheroes in working with us and in her recovery. And her story, like mine, is very impactful. Let me tell you mine first, just a real little bit of it. I, in 1976, decided I was done with alcohol, drugs, waking up to ugly people that I didn't know where they were from, a divorce, abortion, getting diseases that I didn't know even where they came from. The shame and the guilt of all that got the best of me, and I decided I was going to kill myself until a 16-year-old girl asked me to consider that there might be a better way, that maybe God, he loved me. Not maybe, God loved me and he had a plan for my life. And I always believed Jesus died on the cross for my sins. So I turned my life over and said, okay, God, if you're real, prove it to me. And I'll tell you what, I asked for it. He proved it. I went to sing in my bar band, picked up the microphone. I said, give me a sign if this is not where you want me to be, God. And no lightning, but I got a shot. Then I said, God, was it you giving me a sign? And give me another sign. And the behind me, the light bulb blew up behind the drummer, and I knew God was calling me. So fast forward 10 years, clean, sober, involved in church, getting music ministry, all kinds of things. Moved back to Wisconsin from Arizona. And the church I was going to, Jesus turned water into wine. So have a glass. Well, I should have had a clue when I finished the bottle that very first night. And for the next 10 years, I continued to drink. It got worse and worse. So I'm back into blackouts again, driving drunk. And final straw was calling a client when I was drunk and almost getting reported to my licensing board. And that was that. So I sobered up again it'll be 28 years ago, but it was not easy. And Tammy's story is much more dramatic than that. Tammy, you went through some horrible stuff and trauma in your life that led you down a path. So give us a little bit of your story.
Sure. Thank you, Linda. I came from a family full of alcoholism. My father, my uncle, my brothers, I had 3 older brothers, all into alcohol and drugs. So it was never shocking in my family that everything from births to funerals, we had alcohol. And so it wasn't shocking to me that I wanted to try it or that I did try it. And so I got drunk my first time at 12. I drank half a bottle of brandy at a basketball party. And I mean, so any other time it just didn't feel odd to me. And drank heavily, but it was always in fun up north, partying with my husband, my kids, anything that I did, it involved alcohol. Whatever it was, it involved alcohol. I thought everybody else was drinking. So, drank. And I thought I had everything under control. I handled everything. My children never got a drunk driving ticket. I was a professional. I had it under control.
What's the problem, right?
Right? Yeah, I was good until I ended up in the hospital in the ICU unit. And first of all, my mom had tragically died. I was Catholic all my life, believed in God. She did. And my mom died tragically in a house fire. And I totally turned against God. I didn't need him in my life anymore. He did something that I would not ever forgive. So I just started drinking hard. My goal was to kill myself drinking. And it took 9 years, and me waking up in the intensive care unit with tubes all over the place, and it took me 3 years in the hospital for me to even have to even decide if I was going to drink again. And all that thinking by myself was, it was unreal. I didn't have the TV on, the radio on. I did nothing. Nobody could visit me. I was just so egotistical and thought I could handle this, And when I got ready for release, it was like, okay, now you get your big decision. You're going to treatment, you're going to go to groups, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And I'm like, I got this under control. I left without any help because I had woke up that morning that I was leaving, and on my whiteboard in my room, it was live or die was written on there, just big bold letters. And I asked my nurse, did you do that? And she's like, no, I wouldn't do that, And I'm just like, somebody did it. And
Wow.
I always kept that in the back of my mind. I'm like, well, who would do that? A nurse wouldn't do it, a doctor, that's something they can't do, And so walked out of the hospital, no help, thought I'd just do it on my own.
And
And
how did that work for you?
that didn't work very well, Linda.
It
Uh,
did. It's hard. And you were in the hospital for how long, did you say?
3 weeks in the intensive care
3
unit.
weeks. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, and I know you didn't really have a chance to have your first day sober because it was with needles in your arm. But once you got out, and I know that we kind of met through AA as well. I'll
right.
tell you, when I finally decided, and you mentioned you were a professional, that was a barrier for me.
Yeah.
Being a professional, being a Christian, singing on the worship team. We don't do those kinds of things. The guilt, the shame, all of that, I had rationalized for so long. Everybody else is doing it because all my professional friends did go and
Mhm.
drink, but they didn't drink like I drank. And nobody can tell you you've got a problem. You'll know it. You'll know it. And I knew it. And when I went to my first AA meeting, they're like, give us 90 days and just take it one day at a time. And that's what we want to tell you, people, you ladies who are taking this challenge.
Mm.
One day at a time may seem like a long flipping time. I'll tell you, it was 1 minute at a time at some points because of the stress I was under, and having a mental illness doesn't help. But Tammy, how did you do those 24 hours? How did you get through it?
I don't even know. I mean, obviously I wasn't going to pray. I was still upset. And so I think I did a lot of walking. My coming home, obviously every alcoholic beverage was out of my home. My husband was a drinker, and he wasn't drinking in front of me. I had my 2 teenage daughters there, which I wasn't going to drink in front of them. And so it was pretty much white knuckling it.
Well, and that's what we want to tell you in this short 5-day little session, this 5-day challenge. We want to give you the tools that we didn't necessarily have or didn't know how to access because, like you said, you didn't do very well alone. We can't do this alone. And that's the key, is having other people that you can connect with. We will be here for you. We've got a private group where you can come on Facebook and share your concerns and struggles. We are going to be meeting every week so that you can talk about it, bring your questions. It's going to be an opportunity for you to join in and look at that icky stuff that has led you to be here. You're here for a reason. So we're gonna look at those reasons and give you the tools that you need to deal with all that inner stuff, right, Tammy?
Right.
Anything else you wanted to add, Tammy, about
Well,
what you've learned as far as getting to where you are today with how many years sober now?
it'll be 13. I got 12, so it'll be 13 years sober. And, when I thought I could do it myself, it led right back to my ego.
Yeah.
And for 3 weeks, I sat and did the same thing. And for myself, it was, oh my gosh, I'm a reporter. I can't let anybody in town know that I'm an alcoholic. So, I could have easily picked up a drink. My kids and my husband and all that kept me sober or helped me stay sober, but I know I needed something else. And the only thing I could think of was going to AA. So I would drive around the church parking lots because, I had to make sure that everybody that came out of that AA meeting, out of that church, nobody that I didn't know, and they wouldn't know me. It took a long time driving around every church parking lot that had meetings to make sure there was nobody in that meeting. And I didn't know them. And I was so prideful and didn't want to ruin my career, didn't want anybody to know that it took me that long to find the people that I needed. And I walked into my first AA meeting and I just melted. It was people that knew what I was going through, and I felt home for the first time in my life.
So day one, what we want to give you today to get to tomorrow is you're not alone. Call out make a list of the people that can support you through this challenge. Look at the downloadable that I gave you on how to survive your first 7 days and get through that wine o'clock thing, those habits. You got to change the habits, the play places, the playmates. If you usually stop at the bar on the way home from work, take 5 days and don't do it. We deliberately started on a Monday and ended on a Saturday, so you get a chance to get through a Friday night and see how that goes for you. Those were my worst times, Friday nights, fish fry. So we want to help you every day. So read your emails. There'll be a little video every day with some new tools. There's going to be some downloadables. There's going to be some inspirational stuff. You're going to get packed full of ways to get through these 5 days. And then you can decide, is this really what you want in your life? How does it feel? And what are the next steps? So that's what we're going to do. We're so glad that you joined us. We're really proud of you. And we're looking forward to working with you. God bless.
Bye.